Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. This is episode number 606, and my name is Henry. This time around, I'm going to be tackling Fight Club. It was just re-released in theaters for its 25th anniversary. It is directed by David Fincher, stars Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, Meat Loaf, Zach Bernier, Richmond Arquette, Jared Leto, Helena Bonham Carter. And the synopsis is an insomniac office worker and a devil-may-care soap maker form an underground fight club that evolves into much more. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see this in theaters. It wasn't playing anywhere near me, so I just decided to rewatch it for the heck of it. I know that on Letterboxd, this is one of the most watched movies of all time on that site, which is crazy, like of all movies. I kind of get it. Of course, I love David Fincher. That's no surprise to anyone who's listened for a while. I love Brad Pitt. I really like Edward Norton. And this is undoubtedly one of their most iconic films for both of them. I've seen it quite a handful of times. It started out, I guess, more as a cult film, but it has grown into this huge, massive fan base. And I am really curious to read the novel, for one thing, that it was based on. But it is about at the same level that it always has been. Maybe crazy take. I do think it's quite good, but it would be kind of towards the middle of Fincher's filmography. One thing I really like about it is there are so many ideas that still have a lot of relevance. There's toxic masculinity. There's these men who, because they feel quote unquote emasculated by society, they feel the need to rebel and cause destruction, violence, just in order to feel the way they think they should feel. There's identity problems, the inner consciousness, tricking someone and making them think a certain way. Consumerism as well, and there's that great conversation between Norton and Pitt where Brad Pitt is like, do you own your things or do your things own you? And that idea of someone buying all these things because they think they need it, but really we don't. And then you're so clung to it, you're so attached to it that it in a way gives you anxiety to be away from it. And another big one, just in general, is human connection. All these really lonely people who are so desperate that, like Norton and Carter, they start going to help groups, addiction groups, just to feel something. But besides all the ideas, I do think it is just a very entertaining movie. It's very, very funny, darkly funny. The Fight Club sequences are so brutal, and the Fight Club rules, everybody knows those. Some of the only things that bring it down a little bit is I always think it's too long. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes. And that third act, I don't know what it is exactly. It just always kind of drags for me. And I think it's best when Norton and Pitt are bouncing off each other, just causing complete chaos in society. But when the whole terrorist plot thing starts to develop, and then after the twist, and Tyler Durden isn't real or it's his own consciousness, sometimes the 90s CGI and aesthetic work, and then other times it doesn't. Like some of those dreamy, drug-hazed sequences, I go back and forth with how I feel about them. The backstory with Brad Pitt of him working at a theater and putting in porno clips on a film strip, being a soap maker and getting the fat from these liposuction centers and stealing it. Helena Bonham Carter is amazing in this as well. The super rundown house that Brad Pitt and Edward Norton stay in. I love the look of that house despite how gross it is. Like it's shot really well, and the water leaking through the roof, the floors and walls decaying. Once the Fight Club gets really popular and they realize it's getting way bigger than they think, it's going to other cities, and that also speaks to how an idea can spread so easily, and it's even more so now with social media and technology. Despite what I said about not loving the third act, that final moment, that final shot of all the buildings blowing up, that's fantastic. This was an early role for Jared Leto. I think he's pretty good in it. If I were to guess why this movie is so popular now, I think it has to partly do with all those ideas that I said. Like, I think it's so open to interpretation, and maybe some people like it because it is so violent and it is so dark, whereas some people maybe see the more cautionary side of it. It's almost similar to like The Wolf of Wall Street, because it's very easy to misinterpret what's actually going on and what the point of that movie is. And I think you could say the same thing about Fight Club. Heavy 4 out of 5.